welcome everybody here to the Career Passport Lecture Series. My name is Maury Rodriguez, and I would like to introduce today our guest speaker, Madilyn Paige. She is a singer and songwriter from Utah, and she began singing and performing at the age of 11 years old. After competing at a vocal sport competition in 2013, Madilyn's performance was posted on YouTube, and it was then found by a producer from NBC's The Voice. At age 16, Madilyn made it to the top 20 after receiving personal coaching from Usher and from Blake Shelton. After returning home from the show, she captured the attention of Deseret Book, who signed her on their Highway Records label. And Madilyn has released her first EP in February of 2015, and it includes her single, Irreplaceable. Madilyn currently travels around the country, speaking and performing for youth groups and sharing her inspiring message that everybody is unique and irreplaceable. Madilyn continues to songwrite and collaborate with other artists as she strives to put out positive, uplifting music. Please join me in welcoming Madilyn Paige.
Shout it out, but I can't hear a word you say. I'm talking loud, not saying much. I'm criticized, but all your bullets ricochet. You shoot me down, but I get up. I'm bulletproof, nothing to lose. Far away, far away. Ricochet, you take your aim. Far away. Shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. Down, but it's you who have further to fall. Ghost town in haunted love. Raise your voice. Sticks and stones may not break my bones. I'm talking loud, not saying much. I'm bulletproof, nothing to lose. Far away, far away. Ricochet, you take your aim. Far away, far away. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. I am titanium. Stone heart, machine gun, firing at the ones who run. Stone heart and bulletproof glass. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. 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 'Cause I am titanium. 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 I am t on. you all hear me? Can you hear me good? Is my mic working? Okay, good. All right. Let me just grab this. So first off, I just want to introduce myself a little bit. For those of you who don't know me or what I do, my name is Madilyn Paige, and I am a singer, and I've been singing since I was, as was introduced in my introduction, since I was about 11 years old. It's been a long journey for me getting to the point that I'm at today, and I've learned a lot of really important lessons along my journey. Even though my journey still continues to this day, and I'm still learning every day and through every new experience that I have learned a lot of really valuable lessons that I want to tell you guys about today, and I'm happy to share them. So I started singing when I was 11 years old. Music has always been a huge part of, since then, it's always been such a huge part of my life, and I've always felt so passionate about it. And even before I was 11, I would, just like anyone else, I would sing around the house, and it's always just kind of been a fun thing that I've always loved to do. But at the time, it was kind of just more of a for fun thing. I didn't really think that anything would come of it, or I would ever pursue it seriously as a potential career, or do anything major with it. I just thought, yeah, I can sing, it's awesome, great. But at the time, I actually wanted to be a veterinarian or a track runner, so a little different there. But at this time, I was really confident. I was 11 years old, and I didn't have a lot of experience, so it was the kind of confidence that I think comes with inexperience and youth. And so at this time, I kind of felt a sense of invincibility, and in a way, I felt titanium. And that song that I started out with, I love it so much because it has so much personal meaning to me. And I wanna bring it back to that song as I go on, because I love the message of it, and I love how it's talking about becoming stronger. And that's what I want to focus mainly on today, is becoming stronger and better, and getting to a point where we can follow our dreams without being afraid. And that's what I want to focus on today. So I'm telling you guys about how I did that myself. So when I was a freshman, sophomore in high school, around this time, these were some of the most difficult years for me, mainly because I used to be really shy. I still am more reserved, but I was really not confident, and I had really low self-esteem, and school was a major struggle for me. I went to Timpview High School. For those of you guys who have heard of it, or maybe have any of you guys gone to Timpview? I see some back there. I know you guys. It's a great school. But I came to this high school from a middle school, and it was a small charter middle school. So most of the kids who go to Timpview come from the same middle school called Centennial, and I didn't go to that middle school. So I didn't know anybody when I went to Timpview, and nobody knew me, and already being shy and insecure, that really didn't help me out. So it was really, really tough for me, and I didn't really have any friends at school, and this kind of went into the whole singing side of things. And I think that really this is what the cause of my fear was my insecurity and the fear of not being accepted for who I was. And I think a lot of the time when we ask ourselves, like, why am I so afraid? And, what am I really afraid of? I think that most of the time it's going to come down to the fact that we are just afraid that we're not going to be accepted for who we are. And I think that this was my issue, thinking back on it. And so, anyways, at this time, a lot of the people who knew me, kind of the word started getting out to them that I could sing, and so people would ask me to sing, and my parents have always encouraged me to pursue my talents, and I knew that I had been given this talent for a reason and that I shouldn't hide it. But at this time, it was really difficult for me because the older I got, the more insecure I got, and usually it's the opposite, but for me, the more I performed, the more afraid I would get when I'd perform. And it got so bad, and it got to the point where I would turn down every opportunity that I had to perform. And it was really hard for me because I knew, I loved music, and I wanted to sing. I sang all the time at home, but I couldn't get myself to get up on that stage in front of people and sing because it was just too scary. So I had really bad stage fright. But after this went on for a while and I realized that something needed to change, I recognized my weakness and I thought, you know what, I want to become better and I don't want to let this go on any longer. So about the year 2013, I think right before my junior year or so, I set a goal at the beginning of the year that I was going to try to take every singing opportunity that I could. It was kind of my New Year's resolution. And I think that most of us kind of know that when we make a New Year's resolution, a lot of people don't really actually keep their New Year's resolutions. And I realized this, but I was determined to keep my New Year's resolution. And I wanted to become better. And I knew that this is kind of how I was going to do it and break out of my shell by pushing myself outside of my comfort zone. So I set this goal. The first opportunity that I got that year to perform was a local singing competition. Of course, when I first heard about it, there was that little voice inside me of doubt and fear, but I went for it, and I did my best. But I didn't even come out of it placing in anything. I didn't place, I didn't even care. I was just happy, and I felt accomplished. The fact that I had pushed myself out of my comfort zone and even just for a moment overcame that fear. So I didn't think anything would come of this, and a couple months passed by, and one day we got an unexpected call from someone, from a producer from the TV show called The Voice, which, how many people have heard of that show? Yeah, awesome. So most of you guys. So totally unexpected phone call, and something that I didn't know at this time was that this competition, they had posted our performance videos online, and also a lot of talent scouts from these TV shows will actually go out and seek singers to invite to audition for their show. And I didn't realize this, but a producer had seen this video that had been posted online, and they were interested in coming and having me come audition for the show. So when my mom told me we got the call, I panicked. After I realized that it wasn't just a prank and it was real and this was really happening, I kind of had a little bit of an emotional breakdown, and I feel so bad for my poor parents, but thanks to them, I finally decided to do it. I credit them for a lot of the reason that I decided to go for it. But it was a process for me because when I first heard about it, my initial reaction was just to say no. I was like, no way, I'm not gonna do that. Even just the idea of putting myself in a position where I could potentially be on a national television show, even though I knew it was a long shot, even if I did audition, I couldn't do it. I could not put myself in that position. So it was a long process of talking to my parents and talking to my vocal coach and different people and really just thinking hard about it. And what it ultimately came down to, ultimately making that decision, it came down to me separating the fear from what I actually wanted. I had to take fear out of the equation. I had to ask myself, if I wasn't scared out of my mind right now, what would I do? And that's kind of what helped me have a clearer perspective, and that's kind of what helped me make my decision. And I was able to go for it and do the audition, and I'm so grateful to this day that I made that decision and that I did that, and I thought of it in that way, because if I hadn't, it would have probably been the biggest mistake of my life, and I have no idea where I'd be today, probably sitting in my room watching Netflix, doing nothing. So what I want you guys to take from this is, when you come to making a big decision, or you come to something that seems really scary or might even seem impossible, at the time. Separate fear from the equation and ask yourself, what do I really want? Do I want this? And if I wasn't so scared right now, would I go for it? And if the answer is yes, then go for it. Even if you are scared out of your mind and you have no idea how you're going to go through with it, just separate the two and believe in yourself and go for it. And I know you guys can make it happen, whatever it might be. So next was my blind audition. I made it through the first audition, and I had my blind audition. So my blind audition was the scariest moment of my entire life. Let me just tell you right now. My mom and I, we went to LA, and we lived there for about a month. And, you know, one really great thing about the show is they really prepare us really well for every round and try to make us look our best and feel prepared. So we were there for a month just getting ready for it, doing rehearsals, doing interviews, doing all sorts of stuff just to get ready. And so here I was in LA, and when the day actually came to do my blind audition, and it was my turn, I was so scared. I've never been so scared and so nervous in my entire life. I can just remember being backstage, and I could hear the sound of the audience cheering, and I could hear the coaches talking and cracking jokes. I could hear Blake's deep voice, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm actually gonna do this. So I somehow managed to push through it, even though at this point I felt like I wanted to throw up, cry, and run away all at once. Somehow I managed to push through all of that, and I managed to step up on that stage with a lump in my throat and get on my mark. And so this is what happened. I'll just show you guys a clip from that real fast. Really, the only way that I know that that actually happened, and I didn't just dream it, is because I have that video to go and watch. It felt like such a dream and such a blur, and I think I pretty much forgot most of what happened on that stage. All right. So at this point of my journey on the show, something I realized after doing this round was, and getting on the show, even though it was so scary, something that I realized was that I was so much more capable than I thought. I was so much stronger than I thought. And somehow I was able to do this insanely scary thing that just literally didn't seem possible for me. And somehow I did it. And so I came out of it feeling so accomplished, and I was kind of on this high. But then, you know, at this point, here I was headed for national television. And when that kind of hit me and I realized that I had, you know, a lot more to go, and that I couldn't just go home and say that's that, that fear kind of seeped back in. A good analogy that I want to use to kind of illustrate this is, you know, at this point I'd kind of like climbed this mountain, and here I was standing on the top. I'd made it to the top of the mountain, and then I saw an even bigger mountain that I still had to climb. And I think that this is how life works a lot of the time. We'll do something challenging, we'll make it to the top, we'll do it, it'll feel so good, and then there'll be another challenge right there on the horizon. And that's how life works, and that's how we keep growing and learning. And even though it's difficult and it's hard, really, I've never felt more alive than when I'm stretching myself and challenging myself, and when I'm constantly learning and growing. So I challenge you guys to all try to take those challenges head on, and you know, there's more to come, but I know you can do it. You just have to believe in yourselves. All right, so the first round of the show, after my blind audition, I had my first battle. So here's me with Usher. There's Team Usher. He was a really nice guy, really cool guy, super intimidating. Here's me rehearsing with Usher. And so for my first battle round, I had the privilege of singing with a friend. His name's Tanner, and Tanner is actually from where I'm from, Provo, and he actually went to Timpview High School, and he was in the same choir class that I was in. Not at the same time, because he was a couple years older than me, but it's just so crazy, and we had never met until being on the show together and being on the same team and battling each other. So super, super crazy the way that worked out. But this round was so much fun, and it was, I wouldn't say it wasn't easy. It was challenging in a lot of ways, and both of us had to learn how to perform together and how to be comfortable on stage, and especially that specific stage on TV. And we had a lot to learn, but it made it a lot easier being able to sing with someone who I considered a friend, someone that I had a really good chemistry with, because we shared similar backgrounds and we had a lot in common, and so it was really nice. And I thought of that battle round as more of a duet than a battle. So it was a lot of fun. Here's a picture from that battle round, and I'll show you guys a clip from the round. Okay, so I ended up, as you guys saw, I did end up moving on from that round, which was really bittersweet because Tanner and I had formed such a close friendship, and it was really hard saying goodbye to that. And I don't know, I was constantly, one of the biggest challenges of the show was constantly having to I don't want to sound like I didn't want to meet new people, but you'd get comfortable with a certain person or a certain group, and then all of a sudden they'd be gone, and you'd have to make new friends and just suddenly change who you hung out with and talked to, and it was just hard because you were getting in a routine, and then all of a sudden that routine had to change just like that. So it was hard, but I was excited to move on. At this point on the show, I had gone through so much, and I was totally in it by this point, so I kind of wanted to keep moving forward. It's interesting, when you watch these shows, you see these people who want it so bad, and they don't want to go home. They want to keep progressing through the rounds, and you'd think because I was so scared, and I still was so scared, you'd think that I would just want to get off, but by this point, I just wanted to keep going, because I was already in it, and I wanted to, might as well go to the end, That was kind of my ideal. So anyways, the second battle round was with a girl named Bria, and she was very, very talented, but this was a completely different experience than the first battle round. The first battle round, I had, this friend that I was singing with, and it didn't even feel like a battle, and, we already had so much in common, whereas with Bria, we had never really talked before, and we were completely different people. And we also had completely different styles musically, completely different voices. She had this huge voice, and she could hit these huge notes, and it intimidated me, especially since my voice was so different. And so I would always feel so discouraged coming out of rehearsals with Bria, and I remember I'd always talk to my mom after, and I would just feel so down, and I would just say, I already know I'm losing. I already know. And, when I think back on it, I wish I would not have had that attitude, and I wish that at the time, that I would have seen myself in a better light, and I wish I would have not compared myself to her so much, because I feel like it would have, well, of course, it would have made me, I would have been able to, I think, just be more confident, and with that confidence, I would have been able to do even better, and just everything would have been better. But coming out of it, of course, when I look back, I can see, how I made that mistake of comparing myself to someone who is completely different from myself. And so I think this can happen, and this does happen. It happens in life. It happens to all of us. I think all of us, we can probably think of someone in our lives right now that we tend to compare ourselves to. Whether we think they're more successful, more talented, more beautiful, more, just smarter, they have a better personality, they're more outgoing than us, whatever it might be, I think we all have that person that we, compare ourselves to. And, honestly, it's really unfair to ourselves when we compare ourselves to someone who's so different from us. And it's unfair to ourselves when we compare ourselves, because most of the time when we compare ourselves, actually no, not most of the time, pretty much all the time, when we compare ourselves to other people, we compare our weaknesses to their strengths. We're not looking at someone else and thinking, oh, they're really good at that, but I'm also really good at this. Usually, most of the time, we will look at someone else and we'll think, they're amazing at that, and I can do this, but I wish I could do that. They're so good at that, and I could never do that. And I think we have this attitude so many times. And so what I want to challenge all of us, and I'm still working on this, of course, every day of my life, is to try to look at ourselves and to try and see our full potential and realize that we have so much to offer, and we're so different from anyone else around us, and that's what's so awesome. That is the beautiful part of life, is that each one of us is so different, and each one of us has different paths that we're going to go down, and you are completely different from the person sitting next to you, and I just think that's so amazing. How boring would the world be if everybody was exactly the same, if everybody had the same talent and the same strengths and could do the same things, and if everybody was headed down the same path? I mean, this world would be just boring. It's just that. Simple as that. So this is a realization that I've had. So I just want to try to help you guys also to try and to think about that person that you tend to compare yourself to, and try to see yourself in a better light, and try to recognize your strengths and capitalize on those strengths, and try to use them and to do things with them, and don't pay so much attention to the success of others. I mean, you can admire other people, but there's a fine line between admiring other people and then just comparing ourselves and idolizing those people and wanting to be just like them and wishing we could be just like them. So this is the most important lesson that I learned during this round on the show. So I'm just going to show you guys a quick clip. All right, so that kind of just sums up the rest of my journey on the show. So just briefly, I did get stolen. Blake gave me a second chance. It was awesome. He's such a fun, nice guy, and it was so much fun working with him. So I got to work with Blake. And by the way, guys, about that video, I know you loved Usher's raccoon hat as much as I did. It's pretty awesome, right? I don't know how I kept a straight face on stage. I think I was just so nervous I didn't even notice. Okay, so the last round of the show was the top 20 playoffs, and the challenge of this round for me was, I really struggled with the song choice and the whole process leading up to this last round, and especially the day of my performance. I really struggled with feeling like I was myself. I didn't really like, my appearance that day, and I didn't really like my song choice, and I didn't feel fully comfortable really with anything going on. And so, I don't know, and things just kind of felt off that day. And so when I think back on it, I kind of feel like it really helped me in a way, because it kind of prepared me, and I was kind of braced for not moving on, because I kind of already, things kind of felt like they were slowing down, and things kind of felt a little off. But it was still really, it was hard. It was really hard when I got off the show, and it was still disappointing at the time. And as I said before, by this point I just wanted to keep going, and with each round it just got more and more intense, and people wanted it even more. And I used to not really get that, especially because I originally didn't want to be on the show, but I really wanted to keep going. I wanted it. But it just wasn't in the cards for me to keep going. And looking back on it, even though I did not win the whole thing, in a way, I still won, because of all the things that I gained, and all the lessons that I learned. And I truly believe that I have come out of this experience a completely different person, a completely changed person. I'm so much more confident than I was before in my abilities and what I'm capable of, and in who I want to be. I have a better idea of who I want to be and who I am and what path I want to take in my life. And it's really been an incredible thing for me. And I'm just so, so relieved and so grateful to myself and to my parents and everybody that I made that decision, 2 years ago, a little more than 2 years ago, to say yes and to go for it. Because had I not gone through this experience, I would not be anywhere near where I am today. And I would have had to learn these lessons in other ways. But this experience was incredible, and I really learned so much. And I could go on and on talking about all the things that I learned, and because I really did learn so much. But I want to focus on just 3 main points today with you guys. 3 specific points, 3 important lessons that I learned while on the show. So the first point that I want to focus on is not letting our doubts and fears get the best of us. This is kind of what I've focused on a lot, but I truly think that this is one of, if not the most important thing that we need to do in order to be truly successful and in order to follow our dreams and pursue our careers and do what we want to do in life. And it's easier said than done. It's a process. It was a process for me to overcome my fears. And it took me stepping out of my comfort zone and forcing myself to do something that seemed so hard, to shut out those doubts and to believe in myself. That's what it took to do what I did. And now I love what I do, and I perform, and I'm able to pursue my dreams because I let go of those fears and those doubts. There's a couple quotes that I really love. The first is, too many of us are not living our dreams because we are living our fears. And I love that. And it's so true. You can't have both. You can't live your dreams and also live your fears. You can sure try, but you're not going to get nearly where you will if you don't learn to be able to let go of those fears and those doubts. The next one says, don't let your fear of what could happen make nothing happen. And that's exactly what I would have done had I said no in the very beginning. So this leads into my second point, because realizing what I was capable of was the exact motivation I needed to follow my dreams and to go for it. Because I realized I did it, pushed through my fears, realized I was capable of it, and I wanted it that much more, and that was what motivated me to do what I'm doing today and to pursue it as a career. So my second point that I want to focus on is hard work. Hard work is so important, and anyone can ask my parents here. I'm still learning this every single day. I just got out of high school, so I'm still living at home, and every day I'm still trying to get into a routine and prioritize and make my own schedule, and it's hard because I feel like I'm still in the high school part of things, but I'm trying to learn and I'm trying to get better, and I've realized the hard way, and also being on the show, I learned this multiple times. When I wouldn't put the work forth to do that needed to be done to do something, and when I wouldn't give all my time and all my effort that I could, I didn't succeed nearly as much as I would have had I just done the work. It's so important to invest ourselves. When we see a goal we want to reach, or we have something that we want to accomplish, or we have a goal, it's going to take work to accomplish that goal and to find success in whatever that may be. And so it's truly an investment in ourselves, and it's a commitment we have to make for ourselves to go for it and to do that, to do the hard work that it will take. Because to be truly successful, it does take hard work, and you can't just float along in life, because that's not the way life works, and that's a lesson I'm learning every day. But I know that if you guys will truly invest yourselves, once you believe in yourselves and you know you're capable of doing it, and you invest yourselves, that you can do it. Anything is possible if you just will believe in yourself and go for it. And I know that you can accomplish whatever you set your mind to. So the third and final point that I want to make is finding the means to be successful and taking advantage of all the resources that you have to be successful. This can include, of course, our education. mentors, seeking help with whatever we may be trying to do in our lives. Here at college, there's so many resources. Here at UVU, there's so many resources right at our fingertips, and so many people who are so willing to help us become successful and be our best selves. And so I want to encourage all of you guys to take advantage of those resources, and because I think a lot of the time in our own pride, we think, I can do this by myself, I don't need help. And yeah, I mean, that's true in a lot of cases. You're capable of doing things on your own, you can be independent, but it's important to learn to be able to get help from other people who are willing to help you, because that can make you so much more successful. In my career, I could not do what I do if it wasn't for the help of my parents, who manage my schedule and manage everything and book everything, and the people who produce my music and arrange my music. They put so much work and effort in to helping me be successful, and I could not do the things that I do if it wasn't for those people. So try to reach out to those resources, take advantage of the resources that are right there for you all, and I know that you can be truly successful. And when it comes to education, obviously being in college, I haven't officially started classes myself yet, but college is so important. Going to our classes, and it's something that I think, even though I'm pursuing this music career, and I've done these things in Hollywood, and I'm chasing these big dreams, education is so important, and it's so important to keep learning. And even though I love singing, I love things like history and English, and I want to keep growing in those areas as well. And so no matter what big dreams you want to pursue, even if it is music or something along those lines, education is still really important. And it's definitely it's a goal that I have still in my life to do someday. Even during The Voice, I tried to make education a priority, because it was a priority. And legally we had to do school every day because we were minors and we were still in high school, and we had to do school. But I tried to take it as seriously as possible, even though I was far away from home, and it wasn't quite as easy to do certain things when I was that far away. I tried to take it seriously as possible, and take advantage of the time that we were given during the show to do my school. And because of that, I was able to graduate, because had I not done that, I would have been really behind and probably wouldn't have graduated. So even in the midst of all this craziness, education was still a major priority. And so I want you guys to realize that no matter what, education is so, so important. So these are kind of the main points I want to make. Oh, and I don't want to forget this quote because I love it so much. There's no growth in the comfort zone, and there's no comfort in the growth zone. And I love that so, so much. When we're not stretching ourselves and constantly growing and learning, I feel like you don't feel truly alive. Because the times that I've felt truly alive and truly happy is when I'm stretching myself and doing new things, challenging myself. That's when I feel truly happy. And so I want you guys to try and remember this, because it is so true, so true. So I just want to tell you guys, even though my journey is still continuing today, and I'm still learning, and I'm still really young, and I definitely still have a lot of lessons to learn, and I know that. I hope that someday that journey, and I know that someday that journey will lead me back to here, and someday I will be, I'll be wearing green, and I'll be a Wolverine, because I definitely want to come here, love this school. And I want to bring it back to Titanium, because I love that song so much, and I love the message so much. But as I've learned these lessons and come to the point that I'm at today, something I've realized is that I don't think I necessarily have to be Titanium. I just have to learn to listen, even to the criticism, even when I don't want to hear it, even when it's hard. and to learn and grow from it, and grow from the lessons that I have to learn and to go through, even if they may seem impossible, even if they may be really, really hard. And I can let those experiences make me stronger. And I can learn and constantly learn and grow from that. And I know that if I'll do that, that I will be able to become titanium, in a sense. And I will get to the point where, I'm never going to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. But I truly believe that someday, I will get to the point where I have a better idea of where I'm going. And right now I'm still going. I have an idea of where my path's going, and I'm trying to take advantage of all the music opportunities I'm doing. That's why I'm holding college to the side at this point. But I know that if I will continue on that path and trudge through those challenges that I may have, that I will get to the point that I'm supposed to get to, and I will become the person that I'm meant to become. And so that's kind of the ultimate message that I want you guys to realize. So I hope that some of these points helped you guys. I realize I am still so young, and I'm still learning every day, but through these experiences, I hope that I've been able to relate to you guys and hopefully help you guys to find more success in your lives and in your careers. College is an amazing time. It's a magical time. It's a time of self-discovery and, inventing ourselves and discovering ourselves. And all of you guys right now are kind of doing that. You're kind of inventing yourselves and your future and determining right now where your path will start and where it's going to go from here on out. It sounds like a lot of pressure, but it's such an amazing time. And I just want you guys to be able to take full advantage of this time right now in your lives and keep going down those paths, take all those challenges, don't be afraid. And I know that you will be truly happy and truly successful, and you'll be able to accomplish anything you set your mind to. So thank you so much once again for having me here with you guys today. I've enjoyed being here. I just want to end my presentation with a song. This is an original of mine, and it's the first original that I released. And I actually wrote this at the time when I was struggling with my self-esteem, when I had really low confidence. And this is the time that I wrote this song. So this is called Irreplaceable. I'm just going to pull up my video real fast. Disappear. I tried to fit in next to you. Guess I wasn't clear, or maybe I'm just not good enough. Feel so alone here, can't even be myself. Trying to fit in, left only I'm on the shelf. Do I belong here, or should I just stop trying to be some other girl? When I find I'm all alone,
Thank you.